Will an aftermarket blow-off valve hinder or help the performance on a B9 3.0T? Oh God, no.
I haven't seen any reason to
Dear God.
switch out.
Just don't do it.
Just don't.
No, it will not.
It's a very integrated setup.
It will not help unless you want to hear blowy, hissy sounds. Uh, which no judgments if that's what you like.
They're usually a source of pain when we go.
There's no performance benefit. Let's get that out of the way. And if a company's telling you that, they're full of shit. There used to be a time. I'm pretty old. So is Nate, but not as where turbo cars did not come with bypass valves. So Audi, I don't know if you remember Audi 5000 turbos. They did not have bypass valves.
It's a big
from the factory. Yeah. Audi added it in 1990 to the 3B20 valve. That was the first time Audi put a bypass valve on a car. So before then, there was a benefit. Now, these cars that did start coming with bypass valves came with a very standard 710, it's called a Bosch 710 valve. And it's not a very big valve. It doesn't flow a lot. So once you really started turning up the boost, or once you started putting bigger turbos, if you wanted to upgrade from the 160 horsepower, cars used to come with turbos that made 160 horsepower. Now, what's an IS?
An IS-20.
IS-20 is like 300 plus horsepower. Yeah, 300 plus horsepower. But you used to have 160 horsepower. So you put on the big turbo, which was 240 horsepower, and it would start to overwhelm this factory bypass, the Bosch bypass valve. So then
the valve was pretty slow. It was vacuum operated.
And it was also not very weak. It had a rubber diaphragm that would only last 20 to 50,000 miles. So there became a market for these billet valves, which we came out with one way back early on in the company's history. Like the one we sell now, we've been selling for like 15 years. And not only are they much more durable, they have a much bigger internal flow area, and they like flow twice as much. So then you don't stall the turbo out because you can bypass enough volume of air to eliminate the pressure behind the compressor wheel. These days, there's a bypass valve built into the turbo. You just don't need any of this stuff, and it's also so much harder to implement because everything's so integrated.
Yeah, and they're all electronically controlled now. The ECU does monitor and regulate the pressure before or after that as well. Yeah. So you got to make sure whatever's there is doing it properly and exactly, at least within spec of what the OEM strategy expects. So it's a lot trickier, and I don't think I've ever seen a benefit.
There's really no benefit to like a stage 1 or stage 2 car. Now, if you build some big race car with like a frickin' 1,500 horsepower turbo on it, yes, go out.
You're doing all sorts of other things.
Slap one of those tile 50 mil blow off valves in there or something.